You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, so we've been talking about fats and the ketogenic diet and ways to leverage, to exploit, to take advantage of the fatty components of foods, fatty vitamins, phytonutrients, essential fatty acids, how to take advantage of these fatty nutrients for health. And this takes us to the science of emulsifiers and emulsification, which is basically the technique of bringing oil and fats into water and making them water soluble, bring them into the water phase or the water section of a product, making fats watery, making fatty material water soluble material. If you cook a fatty piece of meat and at the bottom of the pan you get a bunch of juice with a layer of grease on top, and then you add an emulsifying agent or emulsifier chemical, then the fat disappears. Well, it doesn't actually disappear, but it blends into the juice. And this combination of three elements, the juice, the fat, and the emulsifier, is what is called an emulsion. On our last program, we talked about skincare emulsions. These are probably the most fundamental of all skincare products, are emulsions, basically creams and lotions, which are typically 60 to 90% water with maybe 5 to 20% of an oil phase. So you got an emulsion is a cream or lotion is an emulsion that's made up of water, oil, and an emulsifying agent. Just three things, basically, or three types of things. 60 to 90% water, 5 to 20% oil, and maybe 3 or 4% of an emulsifying agent. If you look at an ingredient deck, and we should all be ingredient deck readers on our foods and on our skin health products, skincare products, you always want to read ingredient decks. If you're going to be interfacing or interacting with any products, you'll want to know what you're interacting with. For the life of me, I can't figure out why we don't read ingredient decks. I have some really smart friends who just think nothing of taking a skin product and rubbing it on their face or rubbing it on their skin. And these are really smart people. They never read the ingredient decks. Oh, but the doctor told me. Oh, but the commercial says. It doesn't matter what the doctor told you. It doesn't matter what the commercial says. It doesn't matter what which celebrity is endorsing the product. It matters what the ingredient deck says. It matters what's on the ingredient deck, and understanding how to read these things is super important. So if you read an ingredient deck, the third or fourth ingredient on most creams and lotions is going to be the emulsifying agent. Things like, you'll see names like cetyl alcohol, stearyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol, glycerol monostearate, sodium lauryl sulfate. Sometimes you'll see something called a PEG, P-E-G. These are all these ingredients function as emulsifying agents. They have one end like an adapter. They got one end that attaches to oil, another end that attaches to water, and the whole thing gets pulled together by the activity of this adapter emulsifying agent. But here's the problem. Emulsifying agents are active. They're doing something. They're aggressive. They're active chemicals. And next to the preservative and maybe the fragrance, the emulsifying agent is the most problematic ingredient in creams and lotions. It's an active ingredient. It's doing something. Not something for your skin, something for the product. And cosmetic chemists have to be very selective about the kinds of emulsifying agents they use because of their potential for irritation. You can think of an emulsifying agent as a detergent. It's not quite as potent as a detergent, but it's along the same lines. If you stuck your hand in a bunch of Tide detergent and left it there for an hour and then pulled your hand out after an hour, it will be pretty irritated. That's what an emulsifier does. Emulsifiers are irritating. The action of pulling oil and water together requires chemistry. And when it comes to the body, and when it comes to the skin, which, it's part of the body, even though we sometimes forget that it's a part of the body, you gotta be careful with chemistry, particularly non-nutritional chemistry. Emulsion chemistry is very powerful chemistry. In the same way that the oil and water are pulled together in the cream and in the lotion, in the same way they're chemically manipulated and the emulsifying agent chemically manipulates the oil and the water, the same thing happens to our skin. That chemical manipulation that's taking place in the cream and the lotion is going to happen on your skin. And just like the oil and water get pulled together in the cream and in the lotion, the oil and water will get pulled together off of your skin. You got oil and water in your skin too. You got natural oil, you got natural water. Skin cells are made up of oil and water. And in the same way that an emulsifying agent will pull together oil and water in the cream or lotion, it'll do the same thing in your skin cells. And you don't want that. That's a disruption in skin chemistry that we don't want. That disruption in skin chemistry, that pulling together of oil and water on the skin, can get perceived as irritation, can get perceived as inflammation. And it's especially problematic for baby skin, or for sensitive skin, or for delicate skin, or fragile skin, or damaged skin. In a paper published in the International Journal of Pharmaceutics in February 2000, researchers showed that emulsifiers can cause significant changes in water loss from the skin. And that's a classic marker of a skin barrier damage. The problematic nature of emulsifiers is the reason why chemists can only use a tiny amount of emulsifiers, typically less than 3%. Somewhere around 3%, somewhere around between 2 and 4% of a product is going to be the emulsifying agent, and the choice of the emulsifying agent is probably the most important consideration in the creation of creams and lotions. The emulsifying agent has to be strong enough to pull the oil and water together in the product, but not strong enough that it's going to cause irritations. Keep in mind now, we're talking about ingredients that aren't for your skin. They're there for the products. They're there for the economics of the product, not for us, but for them. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back right after this. Okay, if you are asking yourself, why the heck would I ever put an emulsifying agent on my skin? You're raising a good point. You shouldn't. There's no really good reason to ever put an emulsifying agent on your skin, in my humble opinion. Truth Skin Health products, by the way, are made without emulsifiers for that reason. You shouldn't put probably 80% or more of skincare ingredients on your skin. And I know they're only in there in small amounts. That's the legitimate, that's what they say. You know, oh, well, there's only in there, the preservative is only 0.1%. Never mind that the preservative is there to kill things, kill cells. That's what a preservative does, you know. It kills cells, literally. Not speaking figuratively or poetically here. Literally. Oh, yeah, they're bacterial cells. That's true. But there isn't all that much of a difference between the bacterial cell and our cells when it comes to killing. Emulsifiers, too, are irritating. Preservatives, or fragrances and perfumes as well. The vast majority of skincare product ingredients don't belong on your skin. And if you're asking yourself, why would I ever want to put that stuff on? You're right. You don't. Remember, most of these ingredients are not there for us. They're there for them. They're there for the manufacturer of the product. It's there to make your product, in case of emulsifiers, it's there to make your product nice and smooth and creamy. So it looks good. So it feels good. So it's textural. So it looks pretty. Cosmetic chemists are not biochemists. They don't know about the biology. They know about the cosmetics. It's an aesthetic issue. The vast majority of ingredients in skincare products are aesthetics, which isn't necessarily a problem, except for the fact it's not doing your skin any good. Preservatives and fragrances and emulsifiers and waxes, and they're not there for us. Why would we put them on our skin? This is where it becomes important to understand how to read an ingredient deck. This is where it becomes important to just read the ingredient deck. Typically, in most creams and lotions, the first ingredient is going to be water. That's going to make up 60 to 90% of the product. Or maybe it'll be a fake water, or a version of water, like an herbal extract. That's a sneaky way that some companies will disguise the water content. They'll say herbal extract of. That's just water, folks. Sometimes they'll say aloe. Again, 99% or 98% of aloe is water. So the first ingredient is going to be water, or something like water. Sometimes they'll put it in Spanish or in French to make it sound better. Aqua, for some reason. Then the next ingredient is going to be like an oil or propylene glycol or glycerin. That's kind of going to have a softening effect on the skin. And then the next 2 or 3 ingredients will be waxes and a thickener and then an emulsifier. And folks, that's about 96% of your cream and lotion right there. Water or fake water, propylene glycol, oil, glycerin, and then a wax and a thickener, and then an emulsifier, and that's your skincare product. And it doesn't matter how expensive it is, how much you paid for it. It doesn't matter who the celebrity is who endorsed it, who the doctor was who told you to use it. 95 to 90%, 96% of your skincare, your cream or lotion, is just those 5 or 6 ingredients. And the same stuff that you're spending $200 for at your department store is it's basically the same thing that you're paying $10 for at Walgreens or at the drugstore. After that, after your 4 or 5 ingredients or 6 ingredients maybe that make up 95 to 96% of the product, then you got a bunch of fancy buzzword names that, people think mean something. Shea butter maybe, cocoa butter, maybe some herbs or a little smattering of peptides or vitamins. And then at the very end of the ingredient deck, you'll see your preservative. First, you'll see your fragrance, and then your preservative. Sometimes they'll put several preservatives in there. Typically, the fragrance will be in there. It's like 0.2%, and then the preservatives anywhere from 0.1 to 2, 0.2, or maybe 0.3 or 0.4%. Another classic example of emulsion cosmetic chemistry is in how we clean our skin. Cleansing products are emulsifying agents, basically. Emulsification is very similar to the cleansing process. Remember, emulsification is pulling oil and water together, and that's basically what happens when we wash our face, when we take a shower, when we clean our skin. Cleansing is a type of emulsifying action, and cleansers are emulsifiers. The ultimate cleansing emulsifiers are detergents, laundry detergents. Those are super powerful emulsifiers. And if you ever want to experience what it's like to the irritation potential of a super powerful emulsifying agent, take a drop of Tide and put it in your eye. Or take a drop of your laundry detergent, whatever it is, and put it in your eye. It's not going to feel good. You might get a significant burn. Now, don't do it. I'm just kidding, but making a point here. But that's what would happen. That's an emulsifying reaction. Cleansing is an emulsifying reaction. Cleansing pulls oil and water together on our skin because dirt tends to be oily, and water from the tap or water from our shower is obviously watery. What we call soap, or liquid soaps, or shampoos, are a special kind of emulsifier called a surface active agent, or for short, surfactants. Surface active agent or surfactants. And these are super active emulsifiers, surfactants are. Way harsher and way more irritating than the emulsifiers that are in creams or lotions. The idea being you're rinsing them off. So you don't have to worry about the intense emulsification powers of these things because they're going to get rinsed off. If you ever got shampoo in your eye, that's an emulsification reaction in your eye. The eye is very sensitive. The skin isn't obviously not as sensitive as the eye, but that's the idea. This is why you have to be very careful when you shampoo your hair. This, by the way, is why you don't want to shampoo your hair a lot. You're emulsifying your skin oils or your scalp oils, and you're creating potential irritation on the scalp as well. And you definitely don't want to rinse, lather, and repeat like it says on the label of most shampoos. Rinse, lather, and repeat. What do you think that's about? That's not for us. That's so you buy more shampoo. That's called down the drain marketing in the world of shampoo marketing. They call it down the drain marketing because most of the product goes down the drain, and you end up buying more. There's lots of emulsifiers found in nature. It's not just in products, but also in nature. Citrus contains something called pectin, which is an emulsifier. Seaweed contains something called carrageenan, which is an emulsifier. Sheep skin secretes something called lanolin. That's sheep sebum. Sheep skin oils. And lanolin also has some emulsifying properties. There are foods that are examples of emulsions. The classic example of a food emulsion is milk. Raw milk is a blend of fat and water, and over time, that fat will rise to the top. Some of you guys may remember when that used to happen. Milk used to separate out into its creamy layer on the top and watery layer on the bottom. The cream rises to the top, as it's been said. These days, that doesn't happen because of a process called homogenization. Homogenization is a type of mechanical emulsification. It's not a chemical emulsification. The things we've been talking about are chemical emulsifiers, but you can also mechanically emulsify things by crushing up all the particles. This creates a problem, actually, with homogenized milk. Homogenized milk is milk where the fat particles have been crushed up really, really tiny, and so that they disperse evenly with the water particles. Typically, water particles fat particles will be bigger, and they won't blend in with the water particles. But by crushing up the fat particles, making them small, it makes all the particles even, and the milk emulsion stays together a lot longer. But that creates a problem. Fat particles, well, I'll tell you about that when we come back from our break. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We were talking about milk before we went to our break. In the old days, milk used to separate out into two fractions, into its water phase and oil phase. The cream would rise to the top. And then over the last maybe 50 or 60 years, an industrial development kicked in called homogenization, and that's where the fat particles were ground up really small so they would disperse readily with the water particles, creating a kind of mechanical emulsion. Usually emulsions are chemical emulsions, but homogenization is a type of mechanical process that has the same effect. It doesn't have as long-lasting effect, and over time, milk will separate out over time, but it gives the milk a little bit longer life. It allows it to stay together longer. Well, here's the problem. When you homogenize those fat particles, when you basically grind them up so that they're super, super tiny, it makes it easier for them to traverse into the bloodstream through the intestine. And milk fat can get into the blood more readily. This is the problem, one of the problems with homogenized milk, is the fat globules can make it into the blood more effectively, and it's one of the reasons why milk is not such a great food. Even though it does have some nutritional value, of course. Raw milk, in particular, has some really significant nutritional value. But pasteurization and homogenization, both these processes can create problems, and it's what makes milk not so great. In essence, milk doesn't really do a body good. Even though, yes, there is calcium and protein and phosphorus and other nutrients in milk, certainly. But a lot of the nutrients are destroyed by the pasteurization process, which is a super high heat process, and the fat particles that get homogenized can create problems as well. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue talking a little bit about emulsion chemistry. Then we'll talk about one of the all-time great emulsifying agents that's super important for your heart and for your brain and for your nervous system. And it makes a heck of a good skincare product emulsifier as well. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to New Jersey. What's up, Lee? How you doing, buddy?
Ben.
Lee, what's going on, Lee? How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for calling the bright side.
Great. I feel like I speak to you more off air than on air. But anyways,
we're buddies, Lee.
I'm assembling my resume for you. I'm still want to be your intern.
Okay. As soon as I take interns, you'll be at the top of the list.
I'm going to keep making my pitch because you're going to bring back the apprenticeship.
I appreciate that. Yes.
Ben, just a quick question about you always recommend taking digestive enzymes and apple cider vinegar and bile salts and lecithin and all these things to help absorb and digest the nutrients and fats. What about if I take probiotics? My probiotics with that, I like to take all supplements. Try to take them at one time. Would the apple cider vinegar negate any of the effects of the probiotics?
No, shouldn't. You know, probiotics can withstand a certain amount of acid, and apple cider vinegar is not really all that acidic. It shouldn't be a problem taking them all together. I don't see an issue. What kind of probiotic are you using?
I'm switching off. I was using Garden of Life. I know you're going to say bioluminite. Yes.
I like the Garden of Life stuff. Do you know Jordan Rubin? Have you heard of this guy, Jordan Rubin?
Yes.
He started the company Garden of Life. He's since sold it, but after he sold his company, he got involved with longevity, and he brought his probiotic wisdom. And I don't know if you know his story, but just for the listeners, if you know his story, I'll tell the listeners. Jordan is an absolute digestive system genius, and he healed himself of Crohn's disease very effectively.
Really?
Yeah.
My sister has Crohn's disease. She doesn't have a large intestine. She got an ostomy bag.
You should get a couple of his books. One's called The Maker's Diet, and another one he has. Oh, shoot, I forgot the name of it. His main book, and I forgot the name of it, but he has a picture of it on the top, on the cover, where you see his picture when he had Crohn's disease. He was like 20 years old or 21 years old, and he looked so sick. It breaks your heart. And then you see another picture of him after he healed himself using probiotics. He healed himself with no doctors, and he's this strapping young stud. He goes from this guy who looks like he's dying to a strapping young stud in the course of a year just by using probiotics. Healed himself completely, and he ended up writing a bunch of books. He started the company Garden of Life, which he sold, and now he formulates products for longevity, including one of the all-time great longevity products, which is the probiotic-enriched cheese. He actually breeds cattle now. I mean, he's just an amazing human being, and a very spiritual guy. And you might want to just Google Jordan Rubin and get The Maker's Diet. And I just cannot remember the name of his first book, which I think is his best book, where he tells about his story. And if your sister has Crohn's disease, she should absolutely 100% read that book.
Yeah, probably. I wish we could go back and before they cut out her large intestine.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a bummer. How old is your sister?
Yeah, she's 29.
Oh, that's
29.
tragic. How is she doing?
She's coping with it very well. She
Good
copes
deal.
with it. She's incredibly strong. I guess she's got a great spiritual nature, spiritual, mental.
That's
just the
spiritual,
physical
mental,
thing.
emotional, physical, right? SMEP, S-M-E-P. Is she on a probiotic supplement?
She is not. She just started taking these isotonic supplements.
Tell you what, Lee, why don't you send me your mailing address, and I'm going to give your sister, I'm going to send her some Biolumin Nightly Essence on me. I'll send her a present.
Oh, wow, great. Thank you so much, Ben.
Yes.
Ben at KSCEO? Or
Ben at KSCO. Send me your mailing address or her mailing address, either way, and I'll get you a bottle of the Biolumin Nightly Essence, which is now, by the way, called the Ultimate Nightly Essence, made with multiple strains of bacteria, lots of billion units, plus digestive enzymes, proteolytic enzymes, nattokinase for your heart, and something called C-Process. And by the way, I just did a video on probiotics. It'll be up on criticalhealthnews.com. It's a little short video on some of the neat things about probiotics, and there's lots of neat things.
The gut's just coming out. The gut's the new thing now. Finally.
Finally, right? But if you've been listening to the bright side, there's nothing new about it. All right, Lee, got to take a commercial. Thanks for calling, bro. Have a beautiful day, man.
And you got to motivate, Ben. Take care.
Take care, brother. Bye-bye. All right, if you're on hold, hang on. We'll get to you when we come back from our break. Got lines open for you. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Longevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now, but the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Longevity for over 17 years, since before it was Longevity, and I've got to say the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Longevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never not once been late in 17 years. Longevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Longevity.
Serious investors and traders want to make 81% return in 60 seconds? Use the same secret algorithm professional hedge fund managers use to make billions of dollars of profits. Turn $250 into $4,903 in just 7 clicks of a mouse. Our tool is so simple that my 82-year-old grandmother can use it to make insane stock market profits. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. Watch the free video before the hedge funds make us take it down. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. From the Robert Allen System, current returns not indicative of future results.
Don't know what's in your drinking water? Better get a ProPure. With the Pro 1 G2.0 all-in-one filter, remove over 200 contaminants, including fluoride and lead. Taste water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure water filtration products. There's a ProPure system for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details on our current free shipping special or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy. There's no reason why you shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my lecture that tells you exactly how to do it. In fact, after you've lived a long and healthy life, there should be only 2 documents in your medical chart, a birth certificate and a death certificate. I'm Dr. Wallach with a warning. If you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, and other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. My free lecture is going to reveal what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally, and it's all in my free lecture called Deadly Recipe. So call toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. Again, that's toll-free 1-855-79-YOUNG. 1-855-79-YOUNG.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
All right, we're back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open for you. 844-236-6010 is our number. Hang on, I'll get to you just a sec if you're on hold. From the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, March edition, letter to the editor. Apparently, according to Dr. Yoshitaka Nishikawa from Kyoto University, a 71-year-old man who presented with lower GI bleeding, lower intestinal bleeding, 3 days after he had an endoscopy. He was drinking stuff called a special drink that they use to detect various anomalies in the intestine. It was an electrolyte solution. Some of you may have heard of this stuff called Go Lightly, it's called. And I don't know why they call it Go Lightly, because you don't go lightly when you drink this stuff. You go heavily. Really nasty emulsifying agent, as it turns out. It's a electrolyte drink made with emulsifiers. Electrolytes suck up water, and the water gets dumped out of your bowels, and it cleans out your bowels, so you can have this procedure done, this colonoscopy procedure done. Anyway, the mixture, this Go Lightly mixture, which if you've ever drank it is absolutely unbelievably hideous stuff, is made with a PEG, an emulsifying agent, a polyethylene glycol emulsifying agent. And according to this doctor anyway, writing in the Journal of the American Geriatrics Association, the 71-year-old man presented with lower bleeding 3 days after he drank the stuff. Well, no kidding. You're drinking an emulsifying agent, and a very strong one, not to mention all those electrolytes. These PEGs are one of the most powerful emulsifying agents that you'll find in skin health products. This guy was drinking the stuff. Anyway, just to show you the intense nature of emulsifying agents. From the Journal of Dermatology, beta-carotene and lycopene, both of which are phytonutrients, carotene phytonutrients, prevent dermatitis in mice. Yes. Oral administration of these phytonutrients, beta-carotene and lycopene, prevents rashes and dermatitis in mice. No reason to think that it won't happen, won't get the same benefits if we do it as well. If you have eczema, if you have psoriasis, if you have skin issues, dermatitis, you may want to consider upping your intake of fruits and vegetables that contain beta-carotene and lycopene. These are red fruits and vegetables. Beta-carotene and lycopene are particularly important for the skin, both of which get deposited in the skin. And guess what? They don't just heal your skin or protect your skin from rashes and dermatitis, but they also protect your skin from the sun. Yes, they're one of the nature's finest photoprotecting agents for the skin. Beta-carotene and lycopene are found in algae which live in the sun. There is a problem, though, with beta-carotene and lycopene and these phytonutrients, and that is that they're fatty. Phytonutrients tend to be fatty. And if you don't have a gallbladder, or you have intestinal problems, or you're not processing your fats correctly, perhaps you have some bile issues, you're not going to get the benefits of these phytonutrients, and your skin will be more prone towards wrinkling, more prone towards fine lines, more prone towards hyperpigmentation, more prone towards rashes and dermatitis as well, which is just another reason to make sure you are emulsifying your fats by using nutritional emulsifying agents, the most important of which we will talk about tomorrow as we continue talking emulsions, emulsion chemistry, all as it has to do with the ketogenic diet. I haven't forgotten about the ketogenic diet, because if you are going to use the ketogenic diet, you want to know about these, which is a high-fat diet, you want to know about these fat emulsifiers, and there's some really, really important nutritional supplements that you want to take if you're going to go ketogenic. 844-236-6010 is our number. Steve in Pennsylvania, welcome to the bright side. What's going on, man? Stephen?
About emulsifiers and how are emulsifiers related to the herbs that are
Saponification?
Yeah.
Saponifiers?
Yeah, because
that's a good question.
I recently been doing some research on that, and I found that a lot of the adaptogenic herbs, like the ginsengs, are saponific. They
Saponifiers.
Make soap suds.
That's
they
right.
Make soap suds. And also the olive leaf extract
has saponins in it.
I had rinsed out a bottle of that, and it made so many bubbles.
Yes, when you see bubbles, that's a typical sign of soapy. Saponification is soapification. Saponins are soap-like. And it's not exactly an emulsifier. Emulsifier is when oil and water is brought together. Saponification is when oil is brought together with something that's alkaline. So it's it's in the sense that it's pulling two things together. It's similar to emulsification, but instead of an oil and water combination, it's an oil and alkaline emulsification. So if you in the old days they used to make soap by taking wood ashes, which were alkaline, and mixing them with lard. In fact, if you could still do that today. If you take anything that's alkaline and mix it with fat, you're going to get your own soap, or you're going to actually create a saponification reaction. This is how soap is made, and it's very easy to make soap, and there's a lot of books out now, and if you go on the internet, look how to make your own soap. It's quite easy to do. It's a soapification or saponification reaction. In nature, there are a lot of these saponins, these built-in saponins, which are chemicals that can actually suds, and things like the yucca plant or the soapwort plant or you mentioned ginseng, a lot of herbs. In fact, I would say most plants or herbal material have some kind of saponins in them, which can act like soap. And then that saponin, that soap, when you put on your face, will act as an emulsifier. It will bring oil and water together. So the saponin will bring fat and alkaline, sodium hydroxide typically, which is lye, will bring those two together. And then in turn, that new product, which is a soap, is technically called a soap, will bring oil and water together. It's an emulsifier. So you can make your own soaps at home by blending any kind of fat.
I apologize. Yeah. I'm not talking about topically. I'm talking about internally.
Yes. Internally, it's a problem. Internally, they can be irritating. Remember, emulsifiers can be irritating, and internal saponins do have some problems associated with them. Remember, the emulsification process, these saponins will have emulsifying properties. The emulsification process is something you got to be really careful with. It's an active kind of process, and internal saponins, they can create problems. Internal ingestion of saponins, they're surface active. They can act like a detergent inside your body.
Yeah, so, I have a doctor friend of mine. He told me that is really, really bad problems with if you don't wash the dish soap or the clothing soap. He says it breaks something. I forgot what he told me, but I think he said it breaks the red blood cells apart, and it causes major problems.
Yeah,
but on the other hand,
you can clean things out.
The yucca, my dad passed away, and I was trying to save him and help him. And the doctor told me, I found the one doctor that would prescribe things for a feeding tube that you could put in a feeding tube. And I said, well, his kidneys are starting to fail, they said. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. Just give him this yucca extract, and the kidneys will start to work again.
Probably have a cleaning effect there. Maybe has a cleansing effect. Yeah, but saponins
is what you make soap from. If you get the yucca plant, you rub that between your hands, it'll lather up the soap.
Not really that great, but enough that you can get some cleansing power. Yeah, you can make your own cleansers with yucca. I've been trying to experiment with yucca for a long time, and also quinoa will do the same thing, and also soapwort, but they don't really suds that well. And you know what, Steve? People love suds. Have you ever noticed this? Everybody loves suds. When in the skincare business, if you make a cleanser that doesn't have suds, you're not going to sell as much as a highly sudsing one. We have this hypnotic conditioned idea that suds, the more something suds, the better the product is. As it turns out, it's the exact opposite. You don't want a lot of suds. If you can find a cleanser that doesn't suds, and we'll talk about how to make your own one tomorrow, that's the kind of cleanser you want. If you can clean without sudsing, that's going to be the most effective and the gentlest kind of cleanser. But people love suds. That's why I could never sell my yucca or my soapwort cleanser, because everybody wanted suds. But saponins can be a problem, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the common ground is between the adaptogenic herbs, the yucca, which is good for internally, and health.
Well, I don't know if the adaptogens have anything to do with saponins. Adaptogens are really fascinating, though. I love the word adaptogen. It basically means that if your body's too hyper, it'll slow things down, and if your body's too hypo, it'll speed things up. It basically knows which way to go. And that's a kind of a cool idea. Adaptogenic herbs, and ginseng's the classic. Ashwagandha is another classic adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs somehow know whether to upregulate if you need upregulating or downregulate if you need downregulating.
Yeah, the
love that word.
Is all the herbs that they call ginsengs, there are adaptogens. They're not really ginsengs, but they're so valuable they call them ginsengs.
Yeah, that's true. There's only a couple of ginsengs, but a lot of herbs do get called ginsengs. Hey, I got to go, Steve. Thanks for your call, man.
Brother.
All right. Take care, brother. All right. That's all the time we have for today on The Bright Side. Thanks for listening. Check out my Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, and please sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team by calling 866-735-2470 for a one-time $25 fee. You can start a longevity business, and you and I together can help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. Have yourselves a beautiful, spectacular, awesome day, folks. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Howdy, folks. Pharmacist Ben here, nutritional pharmacist and skincare chemist. If you've heard me on my daily health and wellness program, The Bright Side, you know I'm on a mission to spread the good news about the power of nutritional supplementation to correct your healthcare challenges and get you feeling vital and healthy once again. I want you to call 877-279-9422 and check out the powerful, affordable line of nutritional products from Longevity, the ones I take and the ones I recommend. That's 877-279-9422 or go to www.gcnminerals.com. Why simply mask your symptoms with toxic pharmaceutical drugs when you can address causes with vitamins and minerals? I suggest the Healthy Start Pack. It gives your body the essential 90 nutrients it needs. Most people notice a difference right away. You can sign up to help me spread the good news of health and wellness without drugs and maybe make a little money too. And while you're there, don't forget to check out my important video message. That's gcnminerals.com or call 877-279-9422. And remember, friends, good nutrition is good medicine.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Dr. Joel Wallach here. If you're a baby boomer and you're worried about the big epidemics coming, and I'm not talking about the bird flu or the swine flu, I'm talking about epidemics of Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, arthritis, cancer. That's because the 80 million baby boomers followed all the advice of doctors, and Houston, we have a problem.
See Dr. Wallach live in Farmington, New Mexico, Thursday, May 12th at 7 p.m. Go to www.cdocinfarmington.com. That's www.cdocinfarmington.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
This is Sharon Hunt. Before using Heart and Body Extract, my energy level was very, very low. I could only walk a few feet and then would have to sit down. I was tired and lethargic, but after taking Heart and Body Extract, my energy level has improved greatly, and I can now walk longer distances without getting tired so fast. Thank you, Heart and Body Extract.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Destroy harmful bacteria, allergens, bed bugs, dust mites, fleas in your home with the Ladybug Steam Vapor System. The Ladybug dives deep on surfaces without any toxic residue. Traditional control agents contain toxic chemicals which do more harm than good. Sanitize and disinfect using just water. Quick, fast, and surprisingly easy.
Find out more now by calling 800-997-6584. Ask for Randy. That's 800-997-6584. Or go to advap.com/GCN. That's advap.com/GCN.
There's a guy named Dr. Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor. Both a veterinarian and a naturopathic physician, Doc asks, why is this country spending more money on healthcare by far and ranking 50th in health and longevity worldwide? Doc believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, taking charge of their life, and attaining optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic pharmaceutical drugs that lead to side effects that require more expensive and toxic pharmaceutical drugs. Talk about being dependent on drug companies to our own destruction, no less. This is clearly a deadly recipe. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking waking up to all the government and big pharma manipulation of our health and healthcare system. I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare, and I've joined forces with him to help this tireless crusader spread his message. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's deadly recipe lectures. It makes a lot of sense, and I invite you to join our Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's www.brightsideben.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Hey everyone, with 20 plus years as a radio host, I've seen about everything. One thing that keeps recurring though are these timeshare charlatans, these high pressure salespeople who get folks to come out to some resort for a special weekend offer. Then they get them in a corner and browbeat them and coerce them into buying a timeshare they don't need, they don't want, and they can't afford. And then they're stuck with that thing forever. Monthly payments, mortgage payments, annual fees, they keep going up and up. Well, up until recently, people thought they couldn't get rid of these things. You know, you can't get out of the contract, you can't get out of the deed or the membership. Well, that's not true. My friends at American Consumer Credit, a timeshare release company, can get you free. That's their personal guarantee. 12 years in business, free consultation, A+ rating with the BBB. They're the real deal. You want to get out of your timeshare contract? Call them now. 800-587-EXIT. That's 800-587-3948. 800-587-EXIT. Call now, 800-587-3948.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.